All right, my friends, here it is, 2026 Mazda CX-30. This is one of those vehicles that is really easy to recommend to a certain type of person. If you want a small SUV that doesn't feel cheap, but you also care about how it drives, not just how big the back seat is, this Mazda here hits that sweet spot. The CX-30 is basically the small SUV that drives big. And I get why Mazda uses that line, because this one feels more like a sporty hatchback with extra ground clearance than it does a typical soft crossover. And here's one of the biggest reasons it's a strong value play right away. All-wheel drive is standard across every trim. That's huge because in this segment, a lot of competitors make all-wheel drive a paid upgrade, and that changes pricing fast. So right out of the gate, the CX-30 is positioned as premium look, upscale feel, and confident traction without forcing you into a bunch of option packages just to get the basics. So today I'm going to do a full walk around what's new for 2026, trims and pricing, what I like, what you should think twice about, and who I think this SUV is really for. For 2026, Mazda tightened up the CX-30 lineup and made it easier to shop. It's basically split into two personalities. You've got the 2.5S models if you want smoother, more efficient daily driving. Then you've got the 2.5 turbo models if you want more punch and passing power. Either way, all-wheel drive is standard. The other big update is the addition of some new special editions, specifically the Air Edition on the S side and the Turbo Air Edition on the turbo side. So if you're someone who likes the idea of a more premium look and feature mix without jumping all the way to the top trim, these new additions are meant to hit that sweet spot for styling and equipment. And what Mazda is doing here is straightforward. Pick your engine, S or turbo, then select the level of comfort, appearance, and audio you want. That's the whole formula. Let's talk now about why the CX-30 keeps getting recommended. First, the driving experience. Mazda has a reputation for making vehicles that feel connected and composed, and this is one of the better examples in the small SUV space. It's not floaty, it's not numb. It's the kind of crossover where you actually enjoy the steering and the way it settles into corners. Second, the cabin. Even if this isn't a luxury badge, the interior tends to feel like it's punching above its class. The materials, the layout, the assembly, it's just clean and intentional. It doesn't feel like Mazda had to cut corners in the places you touch every day. And third, that standard all-wheel drive. Now, if you live in a place with rain, snow, bad roads, or you just want year-round traction without negotiating option packages, the CX-30 has a really clear value advantage. It's just part of the deal. And as a bonus feature, Mazda's available Bose premium audio is legit. In a compact cabin, a good audio system can completely change the road trip experience. If your trim has it, it's worth calling out. Okay, let's talk about the trade-offs. I'm going to say these the way I'd want someone to say them to me before I bought it. Number one, rear seat space. This is not the king of back seat legroom at all. Adults will fit back there for shorter trips, but if you got taller passengers or you're constantly loading adults in the back, there are roomier rivals. Number two, cargo space. It's usable, but it's not class leading. If you're someone who measures a vehicle by how much it can swallow, you'll want to compare it against other small SUVs that prioritize maximum volume. And number three, turbo trims. If you go turbo, you're getting more performance, but the fuel economy takes a small hit. It's not dramatic, but it's real. So if you're someone who's all about efficiency, the non-turbo models are usually the smarter day-to-day play. So this vehicle is for someone who values style, driving feel, and premium vibe, and is willing to give up a bit of space to get it. Here's where this vehicle gets interesting. Two personalities, one platform. The 2.5S models use a naturally aspirated 2.5-liter four-cylinder. That's the smooth and efficient commuter option. Then you step up to the 2.5 turbo. The character changes. The turbo model gives you stronger mid-range pull, which is what you actually feel in real life when you're merging onto the freeway or passing on a two-lane road. It's less about 0 to 60 bragging rights and more about effortless power where you live. And again, because all-wheel drive is standard, it helps put power down cleanly when you accelerate, especially in poor weather or on slick roads. Mazda's tuning also stands out here. Steering feels precise, body movement is controlled, and it's composed over broken pavement without feeling soft or floaty. Fuel economy, it's pretty straightforward in this lineup. If you're in the 2.5S trims, the combined rating is 27 miles per gallon. If you're in the 2.5 turbo, it's 25. So again, the difference isn't massive, but it's enough to matter depending on how much you drive and what gas costs where you live. If you want the best balance of efficiency and value, the non-turbo S models are typically the sweet spot. If you want that effortless passing power, the turbo is a trade-off you knowingly are making. All right, step inside now because this is where this vehicle often wins people over. Mazda's interior design is simple and clean, and that's a good thing. Everything feels organized and driver-focused, and you're not overwhelmed by a million buttons. The materials and touch points tend to feel a step above what you'd expect at this price. The front seats are supportive and comfortable for longer stints, and the driving position just feels right quickly. Wheels, pedals, seat height, it's all naturally placed. Cabin storage is also well thought out, in my opinion. Your phone, your water bottle, little items, they have a home, and that matters because this is the kind of vehicle that a lot of people use every single day. Now, I'll say it again, the rear seat is more cozy than spacious. But if you're mostly driving solo or with one passenger, the CX-30 is basically built for you. Let's talk cargo because this is a daily driver SUV. With the rear seats folded, cargo capacity expands to 45.2 cubic feet. And what matters more than the number is that it becomes a flat, usable space. So you're talking weekend bags, grocery runs, small home projects, sports gear. It handles your real life. But if you're always hauling bulky items and you're buying based on maximum cargo space, then yeah, there are competitors that will beat it. Mazda's choice here is pretty clear. They prioritize driving dynamics and design, and they accept that it won't win the cargo derby. But for most people, the practicality is enough. But it's good to be honest about the trade-off, right? On infotainment, Mazda tends to emphasize clarity and lower distraction. It's designed so you're not digging through confusing menus while you're driving. In real life, what matters is that it's responsive, easy to learn, and the core functions are where you'd expect them to be. And if your trim has that Bose premium audio, it's absolutely worth mentioning because it gives this small cabin an upscale road trip feel. So this isn't tech overload, it's more driver-first technology. It's not trying to impress you with gimmicks, it's trying to be easy to live with every day. Safety is another strong value story here because Mazda puts a broad safety suite on every CX-30. That includes adaptive cruise control, automatic emergency braking, blind spot monitoring, lane keep assist. And what you want from a small SUV like this is stable tracking at speed, predictable braking and steering response, and the ability to make quick evasive maneuvers without drama. Mazda tends to tune their vehicles to feel confident and stable, and that lines up with the CX-30's overall personality. So the MSRP range for the CX-30 is between 26 and 38 grand. If you're cross-shopping, here's the easy framing. A lot of comfort-first small SUVs prioritize space and softness. The CX-30 prioritizes driving feel, cabin polish, and that standard all-wheel drive value. Some rivals will beat it on rear seat and cargo space, but very few will match the Mazda's combination of interior quality and steering feel at this price. So this is the one you buy because you want something that feels special, not something that feels like an appliance. Quick reminder, if you're shopping for a CX-30 or anything else right now, new or used car, truck, or SUV, don't negotiate blind. Visit quotes.everymandriver.com first. You can compare real dealer offers in your zip code from qualified dealerships so you can see who's competing and who's inflating their prices. That's how you avoid overpaying, and it makes a dealership conversation way simpler. That's quotes.everymandriver.com. There's also a direct link below this video. So to wrap it up here, this vehicle is one of the most driver-friendly small SUVs you can buy. It's premium inside, confident in bad weather with standard all-wheel drive, and it's generally enjoyable to drive, which is rare in this segment. Yeah, you're giving up some rear seat space and cargo room compared to the biggest rivals, but if you value design and road feel, this one belongs on your short list. Until next time, I'm Dave. Thanks for watching. Remember to click subscribe. I've been uploading new videos every single week since 2012. I really appreciate the support.
One final note, if you are in the market for a new vehicle soon, great. Connect with your local dealership and price and test drive at least 3 different vehicles. A vehicle's strengths and weaknesses can only be discovered when you are behind the wheel. My reviews can be good, but you need to test drive these yourself. Visit quotes.everymandriver.com, select the make, model, and your zip code, and you'll get invoice pricing in your area on those vehicles. Shop smarter with price quotes at quotes.everymandriver.com.
You can save $50 right now on the Nuvio Recovery Chiller. It works with any tub, bathtub, cold tub, indoors or out. Just plug it in, set the temperature, and start plunging. Use my code below and grab your deal today. Want to save 5% on your very own at-home barrel sauna? I've partnered with Almost Heaven to hook you up. This has been a game changer for my recovery and daily routine. Use my code and link below and start sweating smarter. You can save 5% on the red light panel that I use every week. This platinum LED Biomax works anywhere, bedroom, gym, recovery room, and is packed with science-backed benefits. Use my code below and start feeling the difference today.